A manager should take some of the weight off your shoulders as a business owner. Now, I don't expect them to love the thing as much as you do, right? But I would make it analogous to what a nanny might be to having a child, right? The child is yours. Whether it's ugly or not, you love it. You will stay up all night long if something's wrong to make it work. And if you imagine like the teachers at school, when you send your kid off to school, it's unreasonable that they would get up in the middle of the night to fix a problem with with one of their students, right? It's a pretty reasonable thing to say. And I think a teacher for a person's child is a similar relationship to what an employee is, right? They have a responsibility to aid in the growth of the development of the child, right? And employees have a responsibility in the growth of the company by doing the role that they are assigned to do. But once your company reaches a certain size, you cannot manage all parts of it, right? Like as your child ages, you cannot fully educate them, cater for them, clean up after them, drive them everywhere. Like you can, but it takes up your entire life, and then there is no other action you can take as a parent. And the same thing happens with a business. Admittedly, I'm saying all of this not being a parent myself, but just observing my family having children and my friends who have children. It's an all-consuming task, as is running a business. So where does a manager come in? And I was saying a manager is kind of like a nanny in that they look after a specific role within the company. And depending on the level of the manager, and if you want to get picky here with titles or whatever, but the idea of a manager is to take ownership of a section. So within our company, we have a tutor team lead. So someone who looks after the tutors. They do the job as well. 80% of the time, they're doing the job as everybody else, but 20% of the time, they're reviewing the rest of their colleagues. They're having check-ins. They're making sure everything's up to scratch. And if something goes wrong, a tutor is off sick, we can't sort out cover or whatever, that's their situation to deal with. They might come and springboard ideas off of us, but it's not a, hey, there's a problem, I'm passing this up to you, I can't handle it. If it's within their remit, which is to make sure the sessions run in our case, then they take care of it. And we've been blessed with the tutor team leads that we have, that they do exactly that. And what's going to be talking about this today is I was having a catch up this morning with one of my good friends who has a business, and they have a manager who they've noticed. I'm trying to think of the politically correct way to say this, is unwilling to push the boundaries of what they do outside of their committed working hours. And for a normal employee, I think that's totally fine. You are given a role within these times. When you're working, you're working, and when you're not, you're not. And that is mostly the role of a manager too. Apart from when things go wrong, you can't have your number off. You can't have your phone turned off. You have to be reachable because you are in charge of that aspect of the business. You can't just come back in when something has happened and then you're like, oh, I was on holiday. No, I can't sort that out. Like, holiday may be fair enough. If there's one or more than one manager, they might lean on each other for that. Be like, hey, I'm away. Are you happy to cover me? Yeah, fair. But if you're the sole manager, you need to have safeguards in place to be able to do that. And what they realise is this guy is not accessible outside of working hours, definitely not on weekends. He'd wait until his working shifts. And I kind of came up with the idea that the reason a manager gets paid more, it's not because they're better. Hell no, right? They have a different job for a significant proportion of their role. And they also get paid more because you are paying for insurance. That person is doing what you would do if you were looking after that section of the business still. But the thing is, if you did that for every department, you would always be putting out fires and never be able to do the job that you need to do as the owner, as the founder, as an entrepreneur. And so having this discussion with my friends and kind of relaying it as managers are you're paying managers as an insurance for when things don't run smoothly. That's part of their job and their requirement. And they were like, yeah. And he was going anyway, but now it affirms their decision as to, it's interesting, he was the one person that was unwilling to do that, whereas everyone else on their team was. And so that's my thoughts for that. If you're looking for someone who's going to manage, it's a different set of skills of whatever the job is before. Just because you can do the job that they are managing doesn't mean that you're a good manager. Completely different set of skills. Like, I am not a fantastic manager. I think I'm good at leading by example. I'm not good at being a boss. In all honesty, like, I'll be one of the foot soldiers. I'll get in there and I'll lead from the front and show you guys how it's done. But I don't like having to call people out for them not trying hard enough. I'll happily teach them, but that aspect I struggle with. So yeah, there's a different set of skills. And if they're not willing to do that insurance, if they're not willing to take on an aspect of the job, then they're not ready to be a manager, and that's okay. So yeah, that's the thought for today. If you are thinking of hiring a manager, or you need someone to take some of that stress away, maybe that's what you're looking for. And that's an important quality when hiring someone, is are they willing to pull a weekend because the situation calls for it. Now, it's not expected every weekend. If that is, you need more than one manager, or you need extra things in place. But there's some give and take and some leeway, and they get compensated for that. So there you go. There's my thoughts. Have a great one. Peace.